Don't mind me, forgot to plug in the laptop. We're gonna do that real quick. Goody gumdrops. All right. All the other fun stuff. Wife's currently working on cleaning downstairs. So if you guys hear anything in the background, that's probably what that is. Okay, let's see if Facebook's going to cooperate with me today. Hey, it's working. All right. Hooray, everything's functional. Heard a nerd. You're not wrong. You definitely heard one. You have to. Well, technically, you have to be smart to be a nerd. I would classify myself more a geek. Nerd would make you think that I'm like good at computers or something useful other than just being artsy. But anyways, listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. We got American Kaiju here. We're going to work on a little bit more. Still debating on how I'm doing the spikes. I'm going to have to look at the pictures here in just a few. I did grab some gloves. Gloves. And I want to box this real quick while we're here. So what we have here is the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Second Titan Aaron Yeager. Hi, cats. It's like, you got the stream going? This actually came in yesterday, but just hadn't really got around to messing around with it yet. I'll take some pictures next to that third-party Titan, which I have no idea what I'm going to do with anymore. Probably just going to end up selling it. Or using as fodder maybe for something. I don't need to display it anymore. So if anybody's interested, I have an Attack on Titan figure if you want it. I don't know where his little crystal thing went to, but I know where everything else is for his box. Tempted to take the crystal and reuse it for this guy. Yeah, it's Revoltech. They're not the largest thing ever. Super jacked though. Still got that going on for him. Trying to get the lighting shifted so you guys can see it a little better. Oh, he's got plastic on his face. Hopefully I don't get demonetized. Oh, yes. Can you shift his eyeballs? Oh, he comes with a tool. I was just looking because he has the sockets just like Woody does. Well, that's interesting. Oh, that's weird. So the head goes into the hair, and then the hair goes into the head. Or sorry, facing the hair, hair in the head. That's the proper English I'm trying to use. He's not technically naked. He's kind of covered up a little bit with his plastic. See, he's covering his groin. We're good. We are good. I think it's probably my one minor complaint with this thing, just aesthetically. I like it personally, but if we're going by anime accurateness, he is way too jacked. Oh, his butt's its own loose thing. It jiggles. Oh, wiggle, yeah. Wait, what? He has a rotation at the top of the calf. And the thigh. Why is this articulated? It's not even, that wouldn't even be an articulation on a like a human can't move there. It's cool to move me around, but that's not how legs work. Oh, that bugs me. I think it's a ball joint. Like it shifts. He has extra, so you can break his leg. So that's cool. Pretty. That kind of jiggle things. He's also got pins in his feet that are super noticeable. Well, to be fair, Arnez's knee for like a little bit could do a helicopter. when he lost tendons ripped there, just. Super articulated at the stomach. So why didn't they give him like a forearm rotation then if they give him the leg one though? Alright, well, that's sad. His face seems like it pops off pretty easy. At least that hairpiece. Jesus, those shoulders. Dog, are you pressing on the children's toy? Casey's toys? He's currently messing around with it. She's kind of on her blocks, and one of the blocks makes music. Yeah, that'd be my assumption. It's a tiny joint. Though it's one of those, like, I don't know why they just didn't do like a peg and then the foot just kind of clicks into it instead of doing a rod through the foot. Not a big deal, but it does actually, if it ever focuses, it does actually protrude a little bit out of the foot. It's a little bit better on this side. Oh, kind of thinking I might want to shave that down just a little bit more. It also doesn't seem like it's that hard to move that pin in and out. So that might be something I do after the fact. Oh, not too bad. Yeah, it's not like the worst thing, but it's there. Like I said, I kind of want to pull them out, sand them down a little bit, and pop them back in. I think is what I'm gonna do, just so they don't quite stick out as far. Maybe add a little paint to it. Not 100%, but I think so far. And then he comes with some extra hands, so you even get the crystalled over hands. You get an extra hairpiece, an extra arm joint, a stand, and a little thing to move his hands around. But pretty sweet. My concern because I wasn't how the hair going to be starting or not or whatnot. So I was like, I'm waiting for this guy to show up, and I'm like, I'm going to get a bill, aren't I? He's going to get delivered because the guy knocked on the door, and I was like, oh man, do I owe money? It was just a sign, even though I haven't signed for like the past like 5 packages they've just sent to me. So I'm confused. I'm assuming Japan's haven't started yet. I know they talked about pausing some of them. God, I hope so. It'd be cool if they did. They could pause all of them. Super happy about it. Oh, the figure arts. Was it Space Sheriff Gavin? Is that who it is? Who it was? I don't remember everybody that was VR Trooper because there's like a couple of shows, right? So I always forget the other dude's name. That was like actually the VR, like the main guy. He ends with a K, I think. Okay, well, while I'm waiting, I need to not grab my wife's phone. Grab my phone. kind of need a good side shot of the head. Because the issue is the picture I kind of based everything off of for paint job wise is this one. But it doesn't have any real spikes on the jaw. But when you look at like this one, it definitely has the spikes on the lower jaw, and it looks like there's one like on the back of the head too. Now, like I mentioned with this one, it's that's all. This Godzilla's head's not quite right for the job. We're gonna make it work. But the only issue is because of the body type, you can't really. Because honestly, I would say, I almost wish I had an extra Zilla hanging out, like a Zilla 3D print. Problem is, I don't feel like it, and like it's using elastic, and then what am I doing? I could probably make a joint. Yeah, Earth would probably be a good one. I was gonna say Earth for like Earth or Legendary. Honestly, I think if we could do this how I want, the Monster Arts 2004 I think would have been a really good base for this, just because the head is bigger. Would have liked some longer arms still, but like that, like the base I think was like pretty spot on. Too bad I don't have an extra Godzilla Earth head hanging out. Again, it's kind of the same problem. Hey, Ripley, hold on a sec. Right back. You don't give the baby's problem. I don't even know why it's on. Little heathen. Man, just you little Excuse me, I need those. Get back here. Yeah, you. Yeah, you little terror. I saw what you did. Yeah, you. For shame on the live stream. For shame. She climbed up on the couch, grabbed my extra gloves off the table, and decided to run off with them. For shame, little one. Well, thank you. Okay, apologies. I appreciate it. Yeah, big girl. Okay. Back to the kaiju. Meow. So, like I said, we're just going to try to make this one work as much as possible. So today is going to be fudging around with said head. I don't want to pop it off. My only concern is because the spikes are on the jaw, I probably should just add it where the hinge is here. But if I do that, okay, why is your mouth stuck? Asking the real questions. But I'd have to have it kind of bending outwards a little bit. I guess it's doable. And what I'm using here is just 2-part epoxy. Animals are currently fighting on the couch. Well, play fighting. Ripley likes to torment her, kind of nip at her leg, nip at his leg, and then Servo retaliates by smacking her in the head. Then they do this for about 10-15 minutes, and then they're good for a little while. Well, with 2-part epoxy, you want to get them about the same size, ideally 1-to-1 ratio. And then you just knead it together. Honestly, I'm still thinking, well, I gotta need this together. But I want to get this head popped off. I think it's gonna make my life a lot easier. Because I kind of want to work on the back, like work on this as long as I can today. And the back spikes pretty much need to go. I want to leave a little bit of them on so that there's something for the epoxy putty to cling onto. Slide a little bit, just so I can see a little better. Okay, it looks pretty good. Stick that up there for a minute. To be fair, I already got. I think I have extra spines hanging out with this one. Like I said, I could rip them out, but I want to have like some, like a little bit of the spine left over, so there's more for the epoxy to grab onto, and then I can kind of get a basis of where I want the spines to be at. I have it going, Russell. Oh, Jesus, that did not want to come off. All right. It's like, as long as I don't wreck those stars and stripes, it's really all I care about. All right. Got a Godzilla head here, so I'm going to do, hopefully not knock my drink over. Already did that once, don't need to do it again. Hey, Anarchy. And just adding a little bit of sculpting to, yep, was a GMK. We'll be slowly turning this into Todd. I think what's his name? Toddzilla, something like that. American Kaiju is the monster's official name. Oh, real quick. Excuse me, phone. I need you to not make sounds like that. I think I'm golden. So it's kind of a big spike with a little spike on top. Again, if you look up American Kaiju, it's not quite yellow. It's like army. It's like a German yellow with green dry brushing. It's just the lighting makes it look pretty yellow on this end here. But if you look up American Kaiju or even like Marvel American Godzilla, this is what pops up. He's got like the stars and stripes on his tummy. Now, body shape wise, it's a little bit more legendary than GMK, but this was the figure that got sent in, so we're rolling with it. Okay, you know what, gloves? I think you have to. Sounds like a truck. Uh, it could be. You don't know. Um, I don't usually with epoxy you want to wear gloves, but with doing such small stuff, it's just really hard for me with these gloves in particular. Because these are my resin gloves, so they're a little tight.
China. That was.
Ripley's in trouble. So Trump supporter. Sir, he's American. He's for America. Can't be a Trump supporter. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just kind of everything I see on the internet currently. So with the spikes here, at least on a fun note, because we're kind of like a Godzilla channel, we can get a little political. Because that's kind of what Godzilla was originally based around anyways, but we'll keep it to a minimum.
More environmental.
But what I'm trying to do is keep the spikes sort of to the side because I still need this joint to work here. So if I do the spikes fully back, I have to worry about them clipping into the side of the head here. And I also don't want them adhering to anything other than the jaw here. Which probably need this Exacto blade. And kind of keep this here just to be able to press this down a little bit more. Like I said, I want them going towards the back, but I don't want them like 100% backwards. Oh man, I love those epic rap battles of history. I still randomly get like the Master Chief versus Leonidas one stuck in my head quite often. There we go. So that's on. Pretty happy with that. It's like Godzilla's not very selective. Also, it depends on the iteration of Godzilla, I guess. He likes children, some. He helps out once in a while, you know. He's not as big as Gamera on the children thing, but he's definitely been a part of saving the planet more than you would think. Okay, and just gotta squish it down. Spiky bits here. Real quick. Sorry, I muted for a second. I don't know, it's gotta get heated. That spike could be a little bit bigger. trying to fade with everybody. Yeah, and I'm old. I'm like, I could kind of understand what that means, but I don't know the reference. Good momentum, guys. Right back. Okay, had to go figure out dinner. I don't know. Like the Kaiju are sweet. I like the joints for those. Same with the Evangelions. I think they worked all right with. Same with Woody. I didn't even mind him in Woody, but I can see your point. I haven't. Oh man, I just touched that and didn't mean to. Need you to read here, please. But I didn't really got the best around like the Attack on Titan ones. Not Attack. The My Hero ones were probably ones I would have maybe have gotten that would have just been more humanoid. I only have a couple of the Revoltech ones because I have well, I have Unit 5 and I have the production types because they didn't make robot spirits or anything of them. So I bought those because I got them when they were still pretty cheap. And I didn't think they were that bad. A little bit more finicky to mess with, but how much I paid for them at the time, I didn't really think they were that awful. Same with these. I have the Zone of the Enders ones. That ones I thought were like super awkward, which is kind of um. Well, I guess it doesn't really clash with your point. Is the Zoids ones? I thought the Zoids ones were a pain in the butt. Yeah, I think the most expensive one was the 2-pack I bought of the production ones. I think I got them for like 25. I think I spent about like $20 on the Unit 5. Because again, they aren't like the most popular things, but just like I didn't have any representation for them, so I wanted them. I was going through adding a little bit of detail to these. Because I mucked this one up a little bit, I got to try to set it back. It's one of the reasons I want to detach the head because some of the issues I have, at least personally, using epoxy putty, is I sometimes get a little too far ahead of myself. And I'll start messing with one thing, and then like while messing with that one thing, start touching the other side. Okay, so from the front, that works for me. I need this one to be a little bit more spike shaped than it currently is. When doing these, I don't mind having a little bit of a rounded edge to them because it just makes them less prone to breaking. It's kind of like this. He had hair, keyword. Shortly after that video, he went and got chopped off because he was growing it out for a while. But then he got I think in his words, he got a mullet. And Rochelle was like, "Oh hell no!" So yeah, he got it removed. Okay, and it's more spiky bits around the eye. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. Man, I gotta kind of be careful to not touch things. Just, whenever you think about Arnez's hair, just be like, "Bah, bah, bah. Bah, bah, bah." He's like right behind the head. Should get afro. I don't know if he can. His kid can. I don't know if it's just a ginger thing or whatnot. Like I know I couldn't grow like my hair only was like half curly. Like the top of my head would stay straight, but but the side of my hair like around like where my sideburns are and stuff like that would curl up. But yeah, my youngest brother can grow a mean fro. I was telling him we were trying to talk him in when Casey for Halloween she was going out as Moana. And his like build and the way his hair was, he was like spot on Maui. I couldn't get him to dress up. He's like, I'm too embarrassed to dress up as Maui. I'm like, I ran around as the giant crab monster. I remember his name. It was like Tamatoa? Tamatoa? Just trying to be really careful at not touching anything else that I've already sculpted. And also trying to get the epoxy as flat as I can around some of the spiky bits. Yeah, I feel like sometime or other I should probably give that a go. But I already know I don't like 3D print stuff and random things I can get away with because I know roughly how much the cost is. I can kind of guess that a Godzilla suit. I just don't have enough money to afford it. Because the other thing would be is like if I'm going to work on it, I'd like to work on it and get it done. So I'm a very impatient person when it comes to that stuff. Because if I start working on things and I don't complete it in a relative time span, I just kind of get bored or distracted. I guess it's probably a better word. And I move on to other stuff, and then it's always hard for me to come back to it. Like I have a 3D printed a Lost in Space helmet that I still have to wrap up. And every time I'm like, okay, I might go back and finish working on this thing, and then I get more commissions in, or something happens. I just never get around to it. So there's the spiky bits for the side of the head. Go steal one. I am not that coordinated. Nothing Warhammer. The closest thing I've ever played to Warhammer was Mage Knight, which was like the precursor to like Hero Clicks and such. It's the only real like tabletop figurine game. Oh, the fun part. How the hell does these spikes work? I like how I pick one picture and then I go to like another one to see how they did things, and it's like totally different. Okay, so he has spikies, but it's like oh, it's close to like Hanna-Barbera style in a way. Yeah, oddly enough, I think it was just more like I didn't have anybody to play with. So I always thought Warhammer was cool, but it would have been like more. I would have just been buying them just to like do as you're saying, just buy them to paint them. Because again, like we had a few people that played, but I wasn't really friendly with them, and just for the cost, I always just found more amusement just doing other like cheaper model kits and such. Um, I don't think it'd be really up our noses alley. To be fair, the only game I really ever like fully got him into is when we worked together a while back. We would get like an hour lunch, and I brought. Oh, we had in our locker was the zombies tabletop game. And we played a lot of that. That's the one where like you have a deck for the terrain. You pick your you pick your characters, and then you're trying to escape while screwing everybody else over. But as you move along the tiles, once you get to a new tile, it would come from the deck. That one we had a lot of fun with. Uno, Uno was one we played quite a bit of. Euchre was a really big thing at my work. Like, even my boss would come in there and play euchre with people. I think that was the other thing too. It's just like Warhammer's intimidating from the outside. Because like you have to have your own you have to have like your own figures, you have to have your own books, you have to know how everything works, plus you still have to know the general basics of the game to begin with. I think again, that's kind of one of the things that I liked about Mage Knight and such was there's like everything you needed to know about the characters was on the like a part of the figure. So you said no general rules of the game, you picked your army count, you put your terrain down, you're good to go. You needed nothing else but dice. And I still have those. Actually, a video I showed the other day, I actually bought a new one recently because I found it at a vintage place. They had him like tossed in with their toys, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, for $10, sure. I feel like I got my money's worth out of it. I didn't have the chariot piece. It's almost kind of like it was meant to be because I also like playing as the Atlanteans. I think that's what they were called. I was to say, that's where my 98 board game's at. It's in my basement. I got quite a bit of board games though, which is odd because we never have people over, but I have a ton of board games. Used to have more people over, or I would go to other people's places and we'd play them. So I would pick them up. Like I have like the Thing board game. We got a few of the Godzilla ones, King Kong. The zombie one that we were playing for a bit, I was buying like the extra pieces for. Funny enough, I think this is starting to look more like Bowser. I also think this first spike's a little too big. Sailor Moon Monopoly is pretty sweet. I bought the figure arts, but that's pretty much all I really have of Sailor Moon. It's one of those like I liked it growing up quite a bit, and I acknowledge I liked it because I just like I'm gonna buy like the best figures I can get of these characters, and then the buck kind of stopped there. I do have the Godzilla Monopoly game. I hope at some point we can maybe do more of those like board gamer videos like we used to. Problem is I'd have to get more people over to play those. But it's kind of hard to just be like Arnez and I playing them. I need to find out like some like random Godzilla YouTubers like there. Hey, you're hanging out in Michigan? We should go. We should play some board games. I forget how much we paid for ours. I don't think it was $50, but as I shoot, it's still wrapped in its bubble or little prison. Again, try my best not to fudge up any detailing I've already sculpted into this piece. The majority of the sculpting for this is just going to be doing this, is doing all the spikes. And before some of you guys got here, we were talking about maybe trying to save the spines here. But what I want to do is snip down its dorsal spine since we're not going to be using these anymore. But I want to leave some of them left over just so that I got something that the spikes can latch onto. For the epoxy putty. Because, for instance, this head's going to be... I wouldn't be surprised if the epoxy pops off this head once or twice. But hopefully it'll come off as a chunk, and then I can glue it back on, and then it'll definitely not go anywhere. Now the fun bit is I got this one spike here that doesn't look very good. Now I kind of want to try to fix it without having to pop it off and try to redo it by hand. So I do like having some inconsistent spikes in here just because it makes it look a little more realistic. Also just wetted down my tool just so I can try to clean up some of these fingerprints on the spikes, because that's definitely one reason that I wear gloves is so you don't have fingerprints all over everything you're touching. But like I said, trying to do these small things while also having those gloves on is no bueno for me. Sort of like that. So you guys can see a little better now. Kind of looks Super Saiyan. Also, I'm noticing I kind of leaned in one direction. Gotta fix that real quick. Yeah, it looks pretty menacing now. So then the rest of this, now that we have the head good, is just kind of following the same pattern for the spikes here and just running them down pretty much the rest of the back here. Thankfully, the tail kind of looks like it's just. I was gonna say the tail kind of looks one big spike, but still has like the spiky protrusions. Yeah, pretty much uniform spikes, but just like where his dorsal spines are, it's pretty much just where the spikes are just going to run along. Until you get to the tail. And my only concern with the tail is because this is a bendy tail, I'm probably not going to be able to do much sculpting on here because of it. Because this is going to be the part, like, if it's going to shift and break the epoxy, what have you. Might be able to do it Warbler. Maybe I'll fudge around Warbler for the tail tip. But pretty much, like I said, the rest of the sculpting is just going to be doing the spikes. But this stuff is getting kind of hard already. So I think I'm going to call it good messing around with that dude's head. But since we got this here, well, I was trying to look. Any extra water? I might try to. I'm gonna try to use a little bit of it to work on our boy Zilla here. Because I need to kind of fill in that area. So usually having leftover epoxy putty is good for that. But to do this, I definitely need to put some gloves on. Because I'm going to have to wet this a little bit and then smear it in there. So I'm literally just using water for my for my paint. And just going to stick this in here and just kind of fill it out so I can hopefully hide this Goku body as much as possible. Customs are going good. Probably after dinner, I'm probably going to work on touching up your guys' head. Did you want me, since you wanted the head lighter, you want me to lighten up the hands too and such? Because I'm lighting up the head, I might as well lighten those up too. Okay, just double checking. Like I said, the color that is right now matches the body. I would say in person, like I said, match the body. He kind of looks like he's got a tan. uh, I'm trying to think of like the closest, like that My Hero Academia Mirko figure. It's probably the same shade of tan. Pretty close. She's probably like a smidge darker. Now, I don't want to have too much epoxy on here because I'm trying to, like I said, the one key thing I'm trying to work on is to keep the weight off this as much as possible. Have a good one, Enrique. Epoxy putty, while very helpful, does add quite a bit of weight to it the more you use it. Let's see if I got something with a little bit more of a rounded edge. Yeah, that's fine, dear. What? Like, I got a brush around here with the rounded end. Would be most helpful. Like I said, I'm probably gonna go through with the Dremel anyways, cleaning some of this out, so it doesn't have to be the prettiest thing, but I just want to kind of, again, hide everything. So you want them more like me then, right? Gotcha. Okay. I could do that. Honestly, I'll probably keep in the tone. I'll probably just dry brush over top of it because I think it'll give it like a nice, more creepy color. Next, gonna do the exact same thing for inside the neck here. Just to kind of cover up the plastic here while also adding a bit of roundness to this area. Plus, this will help to kind of solidify everything into place. That kind of sucks. Is this stuff starting to get hard? This is one reason I am using a bit of water to try to fill in all this stuff. Well, like I said, don't need to go super crazy because I will be probably doing a little bit of sanding here and there, just to, again, kind of round this out a little bit more. But I like to do that after epoxying a little bit. So then everything will kind of smooth into the joint there. Is the hope. So that's good. I don't want to do this because I actually have to do a little bit of sculpting on the head, so that's going to be a bad candidate. Oh, there goes my leg. Well, that being said, the leg is also a solid candidate to get some of this. Just twirl it around. So a lot of this too is just going to clean up all that plastic look in there. So even though you won't see a lot of it because of the leg's going to be covering it up, but you still want it there because you don't want to see the plastic at all. But these sections I'm not too worried about detailing. Because they're mostly going to be covered up by the joints anyways. Just to make it look pretty. If I need to, I can go back over it with a little bit more epoxy putty and cover what I need to. But like I said, I think I'm more likely to do more sanding and tweaking than I am detailing these sections. The one thing, I gotta make sure I don't get a bunch of this epoxy on the joint. Because if it's on the joint, it's probably going to cause me problems later on. Okay. That covers that. I need to do here, but that's one of those sections that's going to be going to be sculpted. So I'll probably be one of my days, shorter work days. We'll probably mess around with that. Tomorrow, more than likely, I won't be doing any streaming or anything. We're just going to be, I'll be a follow-up video. Will be one of the how-to follow-up videos will be tomorrow. If anything, I might work on some reviews tomorrow if I get a chance. Sarnez is on vacation, so he's not in town, and I got a couple of things I got to do videos for. So and there we go. That's filled in. Yeah, just one of those, like, I just haven't gotten around to watching it. I think it's on a streaming thing. One of the streaming services. If I'm not mistaken. Because I have some figures of him, just don't have like a proper one. This section was the one I was trying to pop off, yeah. There we go. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was Tubi. It was either Tubi or Amazon, I think was the other one I was kind of leaning towards because they had the Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider. I think it's so does Tubi. So I think Tubi actually has Kamen Rider Black on it, like the OG Kamen Rider Black. Amazon, I had Black Sun. Look, this one I don't think I'll get the cleanest because these little joint pieces are going to be sticking out no matter what. So this is going to be one of those sections that I'm just going to go over and sand it down after the fact. So once I sand it down, these little plastic protruding nubs that you can see there will hide at that point. I'm just going to step out, like I said, just kind of adds a little bit of stability. I have a small, tiny piece. Which guess is going in here. Hopefully this is enough to cover this. If not, that's okay. Because like I said, what I'm probably going to do is we'll keep working on American Kaiju here. And while I'm working on American Kaiju, whatever leftovers I have will be for filling in Zilla here. And then once Zilla's filled, we'll move on to sculpting all the Zilla parts. So that'll be fun. Oh, so close. Granted, when I do some sanding, that might be good enough anyways. But it's pretty much the rest of what I had here. Yeah, I'll have to check it out at some point. But anyways, you got to beat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We'll got Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook, guys. Like you build the day channel to donate. Really would appreciate it. Not like I said, don't know if we'll be streaming tomorrow, but for sure, probably Saturday. Saturday will probably be the next day. For sure, we'll be working on stuff. If I get a chance tomorrow or Friday, but more than likely, it's probably just going to be actual videos tomorrow and Friday. Anyways, if you guys like to pick up some kaiju collectibles, like good old topless head Godzilla here. Sadly, can't get NECAs anymore, but if you're still picking up stateside Godzilla figures, you can find the link for Entertainment Earth in the description. Or if you guys like to pick up your Hiya Godzillas, also a link in the description from Caucus Toys. You can save 6% off your order at Coast Caucus checkout. And if you guys would like to get any commissions done for yourselves, like what you guys are seeing happen on the live streams, best way to get a hold of me is through our Discord on our Patreon. So if you'd like to help support the channel, also gets you into the Discord. Or Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, it's like right at the perfect time, Russell. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.